What's going on, guys? This is OminousZ, and I'm going to bring you a video today on how to become an effective killing machine as it relates to burst firing, aiming, body positioning, contact, cover concealment. You know, a few techniques that I've kind of picked up along the years playing FPS games, and also in my professional life where I actually use this stuff almost on a daily basis. So okay, let's get right into it. Okay, I'm sure you've heard a lot of videos or seen a lot of videos on burst firing and aiming and how to do it properly and stuff, which you should not really disregard any of that stuff. There's a lot of good tips out there, but I'm going to give you a little different perspective on exactly how to aim, but what to look for and what you should be looking at. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go over is cover and concealment and the definitions of both, and the pros and cons of both. Okay, so first thing is concealment. I'm going to go ahead and look for something to conceal myself. Like I got this bush over here. Okay, all right, I'm inside the bush now. I'm hidden. I'm concealed. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm hidden. Now, does this offer me good cover? Okay, can I get easily shot in here? Sure. If I'm spotted, you know, I won't live unless maybe a bullet ricochets off this tree or something, but I'm pretty much a goner. I'm only here hiding myself or getting out of the way of enemy fire until I could get myself to some cover. Like, for example, there's good cover right there, right? So here we go. I move in, I'm being shot at, I jump, whatever I got to do. Now I'm in cover. Okay? Definition of cover, pretty much something that blocks bullets from you being shot at. Okay, right now my enemy's firing at me. He can't hit me. Okay, this is good cover. However, does this offer good concealment? Am I out in the open here? Sure, absolutely. Okay, anyone can see me. And at this point, you know, if I'm being shot at from this section over here, I'm probably spotted. Okay, so what should I do? I'm behind cover. Scan my sectors. Move from cover to cover. You should always have in your mind to move from cover to cover, concealment to cover, cover to concealment, not just out in the open. You don't want to be running out in the open like this. Okay, you want to get yourself to cover. Okay, to cover. Okay, scan your sectors. I'm probably spotted. Okay, and one thing you don't want to do is you're being shot out is peek your head out only to have it taken off. Okay, if you're spotted, someone already knows that you're in this area. Okay. Something I do like to do is before I even stick my head out, I'll fire and then move, only to suppress the enemy. Okay? And then maybe I can take a flanking route and then fire back on the enemy. Because I've got about 3 seconds before, you know, that suppression effect goes away. So I'll use suppression to my advantage. Okay, if I'm here, I'm being shot at, you know, I'll throw a couple rounds that way and get to cover. Okay, because it only takes 1 round, 2 rounds to suppress an enemy. Okay, so that's, you know, pretty much in a nutshell, cover and concealment, and kind of how to move between the both of them, and you know, to effectively keep yourself safe. Okay, now we're going to talk about maneuvering corners. Okay, and a couple of techniques that I like to do. Okay, one of them is called cut in the pie. Okay, in a real life situation, you're going to swing out, but you're going to take small lateral movements until you can see the enemy in this vicinity. Okay, small movements. But in a game like this, or in any FPS game, you know, you can't do this. Okay, you can't do this. You're going to be dead because you've been spotted. Someone from here is going to take you out. Sniper is going to take you out. So what you do is you got to maneuver these corners, okay, and keep moving. All right, you got to do it quick. Okay, I come here, blade myself outwards, and then I aim down sight. Okay? Now, another technique I like to use to surprise the enemy is hugging the wall. Okay? And while I'm hugging the wall, notice where my crosshairs are. Okay, notice where I keep my crosshairs. Okay, hug the wall, notice where I'm keeping my crosshairs. You see that? Or come to the wall, aim down sight. You never want to maneuver a corner like this, like this, like this, unless you know you have some of your teammates in this area. Okay, you look at your mini-map, you may see one of your teammates is around this corner in this area. Okay, so you're pretty much safe to maneuver the corner like this. However, If you've got no one in this area, you know there's enemies around, you know, maneuver that way. Okay, be smart when you come around these corners. Okay, so enough of that. Now we're going to talk about aiming, burst firing, and body positioning. And all three of them pretty much go hand in hand. Okay, so now here I'm looking at this crate. Okay, and I'm aiming, and I'm looking and I see the letters. I want you to ask yourself, what exactly are you looking at when you're aiming down sight? Okay, are you looking at these letters, or are you focusing on that dot or your front sight? Okay, ask yourself that. What you should be looking at is that dot or front sight. Forget about those letters. That should just be a blur in the background. That should just be, you know, something that you pick up with your peripheral vision. But what you should be fixated is that dot scope. Okay? That's what you should be looking at, or your front sight. Now, if I'm at this distance, there's an enemy in front of me, I'm aimed down sight, or I'm burst firing, okay, or rather hip firing, I'm not looking down my sight. Okay, I'm looking at the enemy. Why? Because I'm too close. I'm too close to be focusing on that dot. I'm looking at the enemy in my whole scope, or I'm just hip firing. But again, if I'm in this distance, I am looking at that dot. Burst firing, okay, depending on the weapon, 5 to 7 bursts. Allow the recoil to readjust, okay. If I'm further, okay, I may take 3 to 5 bursts, okay. It depends on your distance. However, continue and never take your eye off that dot scope or that front sight. Now, what's going to help you with your aimed accuracy is your prone positioning, your kneeling positioning. Okay, these are your two most ideal positions in aimed fire. Now, I do not like to necessarily go prone, because the only thing that really sticks out here is my head. So I'm going to get my head taken off pretty easily in this position. Only time I may go prone, if I'm into cover, I'm being shot at, I may drop to prone a second, come around here, may drop to prone one more time, okay, look around, scan my sectors. However, if I see an enemy, or if an enemy's looking at me, okay, I'm not going to drop to prone and then aim down sight. It takes too long. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, if I see an enemy, I'm going to crouch, and I'm going to burst fire. Okay, I see an enemy shooting at me, I go to crouch position, and I burst fire. Why do I go to crouch? A couple of things. Number one, most players are going to aim, or should aim, upper chest, head area, right? Okay, that's what you should be looking at this point in the game. However, when you go to a kneeling position or crouch position, a lot of times those rounds are going to go above you. In the meantime, you're returning fire. But not only are you returning fire, but you're a little bit more accurate. Okay? Look at my crosshairs, okay, in the middle of the screen. I'm standing, I'm crouched. I'm standing, I'm crouched, I'm prone. Okay? Look at the differences. So naturally, I'm going to get more of an accurate shot from here. Prone takes too long. You got to be quick. You see an enemy, drop to crouch, and burst fire. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a couple clips from the last video I posted up on OminousZ Canals and Team Deathmatch. Okay, I'm running with my iron sights in that game. And I'm going to show you a couple of the times, a couple of engagements that I ran into with an enemy where I go to crouch position, return fire, and you're going to notice in a couple of the clips, you know, I get all the way down to about 6%. However, if I was in a standing position, I probably could have been dead. Probably taken out easy. Okay, so, alright guys, let's get to it. Okay, here's the first clip. Watch what happens when I come around this corner. See the guy go into a kneeling position, and I take him out. Now, notice, I'm at a 6%. Okay, so let's look at that again. Okay, so here I slowed it down a little bit. Okay, I'm coming around a corner. I see the guy. Immediately, I go into the kneeling position and start taking firing. You notice I'm focusing on that front sight, and I'm at a 6%. Had I been standing in that position, I would have been taken out, clearly, no doubt. Okay, so now let's just look at another clip. Okay, here I am again. I go around this trailer. I'm following a guy, but then he doubles back on me. And look what I do immediately. I drop to a kneeling position, and I take him out. Okay, so let's watch that again. Okay, now slow it down a little bit. Okay, I come around this trailer. I'm following him. But then all of a sudden he doubles back, and look, I immediately go to that kneeling position. Okay, I probably got spotted. He doubled back on me, went to the kneeling, and took him out real quick. Okay, so let's look at another clip. Okay, here I am, put down the motion sensor. Okay, go around a corner, see an enemy, kneel, take him out quick. Okay, so let's watch that one more time. Okay, now slowing it down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put that motion sensor down. Okay, I'm going around a corner. I catch him out of my peripheral immediately. You see I drop to the kneeling position, return fire, focusing on that front sight, and I take him out. Alright guys, so in closing here, I'm just going to reiterate about the cover and concealment. Okay, remember what we talked about, how to move between the two. Also your aiming, what to look for, focusing on that front sight, that dot, that optic, whatever you're going to do, but just focusing on that optic. Okay, and then of course your body positioning as it relates to the aiming and how far of a distance you are and how fast you burst fire, or how short you burst fire. Okay, so now I want you to take in consideration, I don't want you to jump into a game and try to apply all this stuff and immediately you're going to be a Superman. Okay, this stuff took a lot of practice, especially going into that crouch or a kneeling position immediately when coming under fire or seeing an enemy. Okay, that takes a lot of practice. Okay, so once you get those little fundamentals down packed, you're going to see how effective you're going to be, how more alive you're going to keep yourself on the battlefield, and it's just going to be overall smart, tactical, and a good player. Okay, all right guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please rate, subscribe, comment, it always helps out, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the battlefield. Take care.